Girls are the most squandered gifts in the world. Arey auntie, we have got a baby boy. He is going to bring the wealthy bride to our family. Oh Shanti, poor Shanti, you have given birth to the poor baby girl. Start saving your money for her marriage. Hello guys. So today we are going to see about dowry, which is still prevalent in 99% of Indians across India, but we are having Dowry Prohibition Act. Anyways, why we gave dowry? First, where dowry emerged. First of all, you can go to 200 years back, or else just for 200 years back, if you go, it is practiced in Brahminiacal society, which is considered as a status symbol for those high class people. But during that time, whereas low class people, men used to give dowry to the women whom they are going to get married to. That is what the practice was before 200 years. And during the British period, what they did was they restrained the women from having property, from having the legal rights, from having any kind of financial management within their name. I mean, the resources within their name. So these are all the things that happened because of the British period, where the things got U-turn during those poor class people also started copying the Brahminical society and utilizing the opportunity of a British restraint order, and the things got U-turn, where they started abusing women and their family in the name of dowry, which is still being practiced. And still we are considering giving dowry as safeguarding our reputation, possibly avoiding humiliation, and possibly to get a good boy for our girls. Dowry Prohibition Act 1961 were the last states. The giving and taking of dowry under any circumstances, even the advertising of it to your neighbors, to the media outlet or whatever, it is considered as a crime under the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. Whereas under the Indian Penal Code 1860, which states that cruelty or crime which is followed in practice of dowry is considered as a punishable offense, and either party who are involved in acceptance or giving of dowry are punishable. Whereas if the girl dies within the 7 years of her marriage, the boy's family is going to be convicted for at least 5 years time period. Who can be punished under this Dowry Prohibition Act? Anyone who gives dowry, anyone who takes dowry, anyone who helps them in giving or taking dowry, anyone who publishes or advertises this dowry, including the media outlet, and anyone who demands the dowry from the boy's side. Anyone, okay, especially anyone, underline that statement. And apart from that, if the girl raises a court case against the boy's family for dowry, and they need to return that dowry to her within the court's order, or else they'll face the punishable crime in that circumstances too. Dowry abuse that is happening inside India. So this evil practice is followed still now. We all know that if we deny that in the private talk show or else public talk show, that is not going to change what is happening now. It is still prevalent in many places of India, still urban places too, not only in villages. If you see that average one girl in Delhi is committing suicide because of this dowry, and if the girl is coming to the in-laws home, that itself is a ill practice. We'll just discuss that in another video. Anyways, so the current practice is the girl who got married should be entering into the in-laws house many, whereas the in-laws will treat her good if she gives more money as dowry, and if she is giving less money, more harassment. More money, more good. Less money, more harassment. That is what is happening in the Indian households still now. And why? Rural areas also is facing many things like the girls got beaten up, the girls got uh, they were fired, they were burnt if the dowry is not present. This is what the situation is clearly. Still now, at least if you take the newspaper, you can see one instance where the dowry that is happening in India daily, and 50% of black money that is circulating in North India is transferred in this form, that is a dowry transaction. Can you believe this? But that is the truth. And do you know how to stop the situation? I'm not going to ask the boy's family or over exploitative, they are having more and more urge to exploit the girl's family. But whom is it the fault? Is it the abuser's fault, the bully's fault, or is it the victim's fault? Normally people will say that is it the abuser's or bully's fault, but I am saying here it is a victim's fault to staying in that victim mindset, not knowing your rights, not knowing how to act, not just grabbing into that one line called, okay, it is a lifelong journey, marriage is a lifelong journey. But if you are going to lose your life, is it a lifelong journey? That is not the case. You should identify your abuser and get out of that particular instant as soon as possible. That's how you can safeguard your life. You should live your life even without the society approval. You can live, but your life is very important. You should not you should not forget it. And I was going through one video today where in Bihar, what they are doing is they are just abducting the man who got the government job, who are in the age of 20 to 25, who are from the upper class. They are abducting that man and forcefully marrying that man to the women, simply because the dowry is prevailing in Bihar, as it is an underdeveloped state. And where if if you allow the situation where the boy, the upper class boy, where he will demand more dowry, so that the women's family cannot afford that, what they'll do, they need to, even if they are poor, they need to give dowry. That is what is still prevailing in India, which should definitely be changed. But Bihar is what I can say, Bihar has made one exemplary example what will happen as a counterproductive attack if more and more males family are demanding dowry. This is what will happen. But I'm not telling that this will this is a good thing. But anyways, these kind of things will happen if dowry abuse continues. Dowry abuse that is happening outside India. Outside India, what is coming to your mind? NRIs. Yes, NRIs I'm talking about. So, who are these NRIs? If you are going to open the matrimonial sites, you are going to get lots and lots of beautiful profiles, beautiful NRI profiles, specifically male NRIs. You will question yourself like whether I am seeing the original original person's profile, or am I seeing some sort of am I in delusion? What is happening here? Because even even Ranbir Kapoor or Bollywood celebrities or any other Hollywood celebrities will fail apart from their depiction of their profile in the matrimonial sites. Those are the you know those are all the traps that they have built for the people who are going behind the NRI. So those are all the NRI traps. First of all, you need to know that before marrying a girl to any NRI, that is not safe. It's very clear. It should be very clear. It's not safe option to 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 make her go to the another country. I'm not saying that she should be dependent on any, I mean, she should be dependent on you, or else she should be dependent on her husband. She should be able to live a carefree life there. No, I'm not saying that. But anyways, it is not a good option. First of all, making your girl go outside of India is not safe, because we are in India, we are still practicing dowry. And dowry, it is the most important domestic violation, red flag. Okay, this is the most important domestic violence red flag that we are anyhow not remembering at any time, which is very important. So even if she is in India, at least she can get access to the court even without you, that is parents support. She can go to court because this is in India and she knows where she can go. But in America or Australia or any other European or US country, it is not possible, right? So this is not a safe option. But if you did give her married to that of an NRI, you should be very clear what that NRI is going to do. Because I think in 10 NRIs, 7 NRIs are going to involve in domestic violence. And in that country, you are not going to get access to police, you are not going to get access to the fair law, because you don't know which visa you have been traveled to, which visa you are being traveled to. Even if you are going, okay, that is what my first advice is, you should not get married to NRI. But if you are getting married to NRI, you should have a job there only, then you can travel to that country, or else it is not a good option anyways. I'm just going to share one case that has happened in Australia, and the cases that are prevalently happening in Australia because of dowry abuse. Okay, this was on a girl. She was married to an NRI, and she was traveling with him during a traveler's visa, not a permanent residency visa, that just a traveler's visa. So that whenever her travel visa expires, she should come back to India. So which itself is a red flag. She didn't notice that. Okay, let me tell you what all are her weaknesses in upcoming time. But they both got married and they just moved to Australia. Whereas the dowry abuse started the day after the marriage. He started demanding dowry, and even his mother and even his sister, that is a sister-in-law for this girl, all started abusing her that you didn't give enough dowry, go and get, or else like help them to give us money through bank transfer, or else we'll deport you right now to India, without any without returning all your old money, something like that. And also they did lock her up in the room, like physical violence, mental abuse were going forward, that she should not talk to anyone outside the home, she should not get outside of the home. All those things, note these things, it is very important. Because what will you do in the country you didn't even travel before? What will you do without any financial independence? You can't do anything, girls. Okay, keep this in mind before traveling to any other country, what visa you are traveling to. Okay, so the girl's weaknesses, she didn't know what visa she has been traveling to. And another thing is, she didn't analyze the abuser beforehand. NRA is equivalent to abuser most of the time, but she and her family didn't notice that. And they didn't notice. And at the same time, what the court case was I mean, when the court case was held, that after all these tragedy, the girl raised the court case, and she fought that I need a Australian residency now because I need to live with my husband. But what the husband said is, "Oh, no, I'm not going to live with her. She just married to get the permanent residency in Australia, and once you give that residency visa to her, she will just divorce me." That is what this abuser's point of view at that time during the court trial, which is very pre-planned abuser tactic. So what this girl didn't know is, she is the second victim to this abuser. He already married one girl from India, took her to Australia, demanded dowry, deported her, married this girl again, is again demanding dowry. What he'll do if this court case has not been raised, he will just deport this girl too and marry the third girl, marry the fourth girl, demand the dowry, live the luxurious life in Australia. This is what is happening with all those NRIs there. But I'm simply not making this false. I mean, you can't tell it is a false allegation. It is true that is happening there. You should be very very careful which visa you are traveling to. and you should not even think once if you are in that situation about any other thing than your life. Your life is precious, and your life should not be lost in form of dowry, especially dowry. Okay, they will tell that you can lose to your opponent, but you should not lose to your fear. Okay, you can lose your reputation, but you can't lose your life. You can rebuild your reputation, but you can't rebuild your life once it is lost. That is what this message from this video, and I'll see you in next video with good concept. And what are all those dowry abuses and abusive cases you have heard, put that in comment. Let us jointly review that. Until then, I'll see you in next video. Take care. Bye bye.